Hey everybody, I'm randomfrankp, and welcome to my review of the LG 34 UM67 Ultrawide monitors. Now if you're a fan of my channel, you've been following some of my videos in the past, you'll notice that lately I've been making a lot of big upgrades, and I updated a lot of stuff over here. I used to have two 24-inch monitors, and now I have these two 34-inch 21:9 ratio monitors, and it's been great. Usually I use them mainly for gaming and editing videos for YouTube, and people have been asking when they've seen setup videos in the past why I don't have them side by side. The main reason for that is when I'm gaming I use just one monitor since they act as two, and I can monitor Twitch and OBS just by briefly looking up, and the same with editing videos is very helpful. That's just a brief explanation of my personal experience and my setup with these so far. I'm going to give you guys my full review and the rundown of my actual experience using them as a consumer. The first thing we're going to talk about is the appearance of the monitor. The LG 34 UM67 has very thin bezels, which I love. Granted, the screen doesn't extend all the way to the end of the bezels, they're still relatively thin compared to other monitors out there, and it gives it a very nice and sleek look to it. The monitor itself is 34 inches diagonally, and it's very thin given its beast size. It has a matte anti-glare finish on it, which is great for when you're gaming. If there's like a window behind you or a light, you're not going to be constantly annoyed or constantly distracted by a glaring reflective light, so having a matte finish is a great bonus. The monitor is 75 Hz, which is great for pushing the 2560 by 1080p resolution of the screen. And before we take a look around back, you can see the menu options are actually very robust and detailed, and it's going to be great for getting that desired picture that you want. They have a really cool and unique joystick kind of navigation button, which I've never seen in the past. I'm just used to those, bulky buttons on the side of monitors. All they have here is one button and acts as a joystick, so you can navigate throughout the menus. And they, like I said, have everything you can think of, from tuning all the colors to that perfect adjustment, tuning the blacks, pretty much everything that you're going to want to adjust in the menu you can find here. Real quick looking around back, you're going to find the average ports here. You get your DVI, the display port, the HDMI, the power port. There is no USB port, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. And as for the stand, it's a cool glossy plastic stand that's going to give it the appearance that it's kind of floating since the stand is see-through. It does support very minor tilting for different viewing angles on your height. However, there is not really too much options here for height adjustment, bringing it up and down. There are two screws in the back which you can take the stand off of and kind of just adjust it very minorly and screw it back in. I would have liked to have seen more height adjustment, but again, it looks cool with the stand. And if you do want to actually mount these, you can. It does support being mounted to the wall. I would just recommend a very low profile mount because it might interfere with accessing some of the ports in the back. And now to some of the features of the monitor, which are going to really help gamers, which I think what this monitor is definitely targeted for. The two ones I want to talk about is the real-time dynamic action sync, which is the DAS mode. And this greatly reduces input lag, which is going to be great for gamers. They also support dynamic refresh rate gaming, which is going to help your AMD FreeSync system refresh the image at the appropriate times to avoid any vertical tearing or anything like that when the VSync is off in your game settings. Again, this is a great option for AMD cards only, so NVIDIA is going to have to sit out for this one. And this is what's going to give the FreeSync monitor name to the actual product name of the monitor. So two great features that are going to be really big bonuses for gamers. And the last thing is this monitor does actually have speakers on the bottom. They are not the best. They're going to be kind of your average speakers that you would find in a monitor. I know most people don't even really use them. I would highly recommend using headphones since it's going to be best, especially if you are a gamer. But for just an everyday user, just general productivity and browsing on the internet, these speakers will be just fine for you. And I got one kind of gripe about the monitor, so I guess my one con for this would be the pixel density. It's not going to be really noticeable to the average consumer or the average user. If you're a pixel hunter, though, you're going to definitely pick this out because pixels are noticeable, but only if you're sitting, I would say, at around like 16 inches or less from the monitor, which most people will. Since it is such a large display, they're packing a lot of pixels into this. Kind of makes text hard to read. But again, you're not going to notice it when gaming. I found it just noticeable when I was really browsing the internet and stuff like that. So it's kind of a minor con, but for pixel hunters out there, you're definitely going to notice the pixels after looking at it for a long time. So all in all, I would highly recommend these monitors to someone who is looking to upgrade. If you have two of those 16:9 ratio monitors, these are definitely going to be worthy enough because it's going to have that kind of illusion since they're so big and wide that it is pretty much like two 16:9 ratio monitors side by side. But I also found that it just really increased my productivity. Since I have them stacked on top like I do, I can have my bottom screen for editing like on my timeline and all that stuff, and I can just briefly look up to see what I'm editing in real time, and it just gives me so much more real estate on the screen. That's the biggest part. Since they're so wide, you have so much more room to do everything, whether it's browsing, gaming, or like I said, like photo editing or video editing. It just really helped out and made my job a lot easier. And for gaming, it's just incredible. I don't know how I would ever game on a 16:9 monitor now that I'm looking at this. Just having that little bit more screen on the sides of what you usually have on a 16:9, it didn't help out, didn't give me a competitive edge, but it was just nice to have that, again, that extra real estate, that extra screen to work with, and it made me a lot more immersed, which was a big bonus. And any gamer loves that feeling of being re-immersed into something again. So I think that was one of the biggest features of this, was just for me especially, was just that new refreshed experience of gaming again. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for my review of the LG 34UM67 monitors, the 34-inch ultra-wide 21:9 FreeSync monitor. Again, I'm loving the setup I have. I know the stacked setup is kind of unique. People might complain that I don't have them side by side, but again, this is my unique setup. This is what's going to work best for me, and these monitors really help me work better and easier, if that makes sense. It brings my productivity level to a whole new level. I've said it before, but it really does. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, give it a thumbs up to show your support. If you have any questions, you can comment down below, or hit me up on Twitter at randomfrankp. I'm always in there talking, getting little channel updates and sneak peeks. And actually, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably knew I received these monitors a few weeks ago when I tweeted a little picture of them at my door. So definitely follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. So hope you enjoyed the review, and if you're in the market for a new monitor, highly recommend checking these out. You won't regret it. I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.